And if it starts, I'll just like edit the segments out and cut everything out if it works. Oh, there it goes. Cool beans. Now let's see if we can get some video here.
Oh yeah, we're up. Yep, we're up, Kyle.
Oh, we're up.
Yep.
Okay, because because I don't see the video. Oh, make sure you mute your stream, guys, on your end.
Yep, I did.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. My name is Kyle Paul Avery. I am the president of New England Storm Chasers. So I want to introduce myself, and we're going to introduce everybody on this live Q&A session. To my right, we have head of operations. I just promoted Emily Pike to head of operations for New England Storm Chasers, so congratulations to Emily. And I have Sam Epstein and Mike, who are we are part of the New England Storm Chasers crew. So we're gonna introduce ourselves. So my name is Kyle, and I've been a storm chaser for about God knows what. I've been chasing since about 10 years old. So I've been chasing for about 16 years, and I actually captured my first thunderstorm back in June 2006, and that was my first thunderstorm video, which will be uploaded on YouTube somewhere. It's in YouTube, on my YouTube channel somewhere. So I recently got into chasing. My first storm experience that actually got me interested in storm chasing was actually a television movie. It was called Night of the Twisters. It was actually based on a real event back in 1980. It was the Grand Island, Nebraska tornado that dropped multiple tornadoes overnight, and a couple of tornadoes were anticyclonic, and it caused major devastation to Grand Island overnight. And if you guys have a chance to go watch, it's on YouTube actually, if you want to go watch it. But that was the television movie that got me into storm chasing and the love of tornadoes, and I've been doing it ever since. So, Emily, I want to introduce yourself and what got you into storm chasing.
Well, I'm Emily Pike. What got me into storm chasing was being stuck on the highway in the middle of a tornado, so that was pretty interesting.
So, Sam.
All right, I am Sam Epstein. Storm chasing for about 4.5 years. The reason I got into storm chasing was movie Twister, as we all know and love. My first chase, the one that really got me into chasing, was June 1st, 2011, the Springfield to Worcester tornado that hit Munson, took out a part of Springfield, and proceeded on. Actually, my very first storm chase and my very first tornado on the first chase.
Interesting. So, Mike, what was your first storm chasing event, or introduce yourself, actually?
Mike Boudreaux. I've been storm chasing for probably 6 years now. Of course, what got me into it, like Sam, was movie Twister. I've been into that movie like you wouldn't believe. I remember being 4 years old, a Power Wheels Jeep, driving around reenacting the movie Twister, chasing leaves spinning in a tornado form, just stuff like that. My first experience was also the June 1st tornado, and then the microbursts in July shortly after that, during the same summer. So that's what really ramped up my interest in it.
Interesting. Because I have a small confession to make, or actually a thing. I actually know every single line, the movie Twister. I know every single line of that movie. I can phrase it from beginning to end. Every single line. I can memorize it all, yeah. Which is
It's not a bad confession.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's kind of a guilty pleasure that I have, but yeah. So, but I do love the movie Twister, by the way. That's also another movie I liked, but but I always like Night of the Twisters is one of my favorites. So, all right.
I've seen that movie before too. Night of the Twisters. What is it? This is going back to the days where you can everyone would tape shows on the VHS, whatever, and we watched me and my brother watched Twister and Night of the Living Twister, or Night of the Twister, so much that we actually burned those tapes out, and we had to. Like my parents got us new ones for Christmas, like every year. So
Yep. I remember the VCR tapes that I used to record. There was like I had like VHS tapes. The Weather Channel VHS
yeah,
tapes. Yeah, I
oh
have
yeah,
those. I have Sky on Fire. I have Target Tornado. I have Tornadoes 1995. Yeah, I got them all. I also got uh, another VHS tape called Nature's Fury.
I have
Uh,
that one too.
that one is actually from Linden State College, by the way. They actually did those videos where they put the collaboration of tornadoes, and it was pretty cool. So again, that's what got me interested in tornadoes and lightning, Sky on Fire and stuff. But so now we're going to the next segment. This is story time. So I'll tell a story about one of my probably most scariest chases I ever been on. I would say I was chasing it was a severe weather outbreak that happened. I think this happened around like April or May, and there was like a severe line of thunderstorms stretching all the way from Maine down to Florida. It was a big, humongous cold front. It was just severe storms all the way down that line, and basically, I intercepted a supercell thunderstorm that was developing in front of the cold front. It's one of those, supercells that develop in front of cold fronts, and I intercepted it. It was overshooting top supercell, which the tops reached about 75,000 feet, and I intercepted the hail core of one of those storms, and it dumped golf ball size hail, and I was, let me tell you, firsthand experience. If you ever drive into a golf ball size hailstorm, make sure to find an overpass or a gas station, because I was lucky and fortunate that I didn't break a windshield or have any dents in the car. Okay, it was a very scary experience because it felt like the sound of those hailstones. It felt like a chainsaw. I put my ear up against the chainsaw. Like, that's how loud it was. Like, I honked my horn so loud I couldn't even hear it. That's how loud this hailstorm was. And as soon as the hailstorm stopped, it got really quiet, and there was lightning everywhere. And lo and behold, I was looking everywhere for the sky, because I know I was under some circulation. It was very, very quiet. So most likely when it goes quiet like that, I had to look around for the tornado, because usually tornadoes happen like when the hailstorm stops and it all goes like dead silent, with like no wind and no rain, no hail. It was just like lightning. That's it. And I was looking around for that tornado, and luckily there was no tornado that happened. But it was a pretty scary experience, and my first time trying to find a tornado, but didn't find anything. But oh well. But it was a really good experience to be in a golf ball size hailstorm. So, any storm chasing stories, guys? Emily, Sam, Mike?
Yeah. There was a pretty decent one last year, actually, over the summer. I was on the Spalding 16, and I had that tornado warned cell coming through the Rockingham County, and I was speeding on that highway to get to it. So by the time I got into Epping, actually before I got into 101, there was complete dark skies. There was a supercell, and it was producing hail as well as strong winds, and the rain was, you could not see anything in front of you. Trees were blowing pretty much in the highway, branches breaking off. No one was putting their emergency blinkers on, truckers just keeping on going. It was insane. I actually had my own panic attack, which I've never had really before with storm chasing, so it's really intense.
Mm-hmm. I had it too. During that hailstorm intercept, I had my panic attack. So Sam, any stories about any storm chase or any intercepting storms that you had?
Yeah, I'll give one story. Actually, Mike and I's story, storm is the same storm, but we were at different ends of it. I was racing from work to intercept it. Came around what's called route 57. It's going into Agawam, and coming around the corner off the highway bridge, and I get hit with, I'm pretty sure, like 60-mile-an-hour winds, just hit like a wall. And all you saw was cars going to the next lane. I had to control my Jeep, which is not like a lower vehicle, it's just high. And then 2,000 feet about 2,000 feet in front of me, a tree fell across 2 lanes of the highway. Of course, I had to slam on my brakes before I hit that. And in less than a minute, the storm, I had gone through it and stopped. But that was my craziest part of that chase.
Awesome. So, Mike, any stories?
Yeah, actually, the same one Sam was talking about. So, I was on the western side of that storm, and my friend and I were watching the cell come in, and we noticed it had a hail core of about a half inch. So I was a little iffy about actually, like, I'm not really one to go core punching, but this one was like, I don't know if we should probably get into it or we shouldn't. Like, I try not to, but we want to get close to make sure, because there was a lot of strong winds with this storm, and the velocity on the radar also showed like 60 plus mile an hour winds. Like, it was nuts. So we got close to where we thought the outer edge would be, but we actually got dead center in it when we didn't intend to, and I do have a video of it, and it was just extreme winds. Like, I've never seen winds this strong. Like, on one side. I guess, like what Sam said, they were definitely like 60 plus, but they were reported at about 78 if I remember, and it lasted a few minutes. I remember the rain was just intense. There was pea-sized hail. And then I turn around and look, and there was just trees down everywhere. We crossed right over the bridge to go into Agawam from West Springfield, and we were only about 500 feet away from the initial damage itself. So right as we go on the main road into Agawam, that's when we noticed there was just trees down, there was wires down. It was a mess. State troopers everywhere. That's when I drove probably a mile down the road. It took me forever to get down there because there was so much. There was just a mess everywhere. But that's when I saw Sam blocking off half the road because there was trees and wires down.
Yep, I had
But,
my fire on and everything.
oh yeah, it was intense. I've never, I've been on the outside of a microburst, but it was like the most unreal feeling being inside something like that, because you see it on TV, you see it in videos, but when you're actually like in it, it's just a whole nother world. Like, hearing it and like feeling it, like the whole pressure drop and everything. It's like I was like, speechless. It was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even describe it to anyone.
I experienced microbursts before around my home when the thunderstorms would get like so severe, like when they get past Hillsborough.
Yep.
When they intensify again, yeah, that's when, because thunderstorms sometimes they lose energy around my area, so that's when we experience the microbursts happen. And yeah, it's quite amazing how the winds affect the trees and everything. And yeah, we experienced lots of power. Branches have been knocked over, and yeah, kind of a scary experience. But because I remember, well, something similar to that, but I experienced like my worst windstorm, I would say I experienced, was the Superstorm Sandy. When it came over, we got the windy side of the hurricane, and I experienced like 80-mile-per-hour winds, like constant winds, and I saw like a couple trees down from my street get uprooted completely without snapping in half. Like, the whole thing just went up. So yeah, my neighbor's fence got destroyed, and yeah, I got to see a whole willow tree just got knocked over. It's pretty tall, so yeah. So that was probably my worst experience for wind, but I don't know if it was your guys' super. I don't know what you guys experienced in Superstorm Sandy, but I bet it was like pretty intense around Massachusetts.
Yeah, we mainly stayed in Western Mass, just patrolled in our little area. But we got some good winds, some good rain. Want to add anything, Mike?
Yeah, it was mostly a lot of rain. Watching radar, most of the intense bands missed us to our west. It was to our east. It was mostly towards the coast, obviously, and to our south. It seemed like Connecticut absorbed most of it, but we still had, all the wind for the majority of the day. A lot of rain too, but really no significant damage from it.
Yeah, I had a lot of significant damage. I mostly had trees down and power lines down, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. But could have been far worse though, with all the damage. But yeah, we lucked out for our house being spared because the walls within our house were like shaking. They were about to fall, pretty much. It felt like they were gonna bust apart, but luckily the foundation stood still. So, so yeah, that was kind of a scary experience. But I just hope I don't have to experience another hurricane again like that, or experience like Category 3 or Category 5 hurricanes. I can't even imagine, because that Superstorm Sandy was like Category 1, I think, hurricane when it hit the coast.
Yeah, it was a 1, but that thing.
I
was
think it
nuts.
subsided to a tropical storm.
Right.
Which it was just crazy in itself.
It was still bad.
Yeah.
That was a real crazy storm.
Because
I remember I tracked that for since it ever began. I think I would talk to like Mike and Nate, another chaser that we chase with, every night, and we were just tracking it. And then we just called it. And I was like, yeah, it's gonna hit up here, and it did. I was like, wow. I was watching it, and I was like, it's gonna hit New York City. I'm like, that's not good.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember most of the models, like the spaghetti models, it was showing it actually like a direct hit, like Connecticut coastline. So we honestly thought this is going to be a direct hit on us. Like, there's no way. Or there was another option that showed it hooking out to sea, intensifying, and looping directly into like Boston, kind of, and going straight inwards. So either way, it was going to be bad. Like, it's like there's no avoiding it. The thing was just massive. But there was those very few possibilities where it like looped right into New Jersey, which is what it ended up doing. But it would have been nuts if it actually like did what we thought it was going to.
yeah, so I mean, I saw the visible satellite for Superstorm Sandy. My God, that hurricane was huge. It was like it took up the whole entire Atlantic coast, pretty much. Like, I feel bad for Bermuda. Like, they got caught in the middle of that thing, and oof, I bet they had that storm for days, or days on end.
I'll vacation there, but I'll never live there.
Yeah, I'll vacation there, yeah, but never live there. No, I wouldn't live near islands, or like Key West, Florida, or something, or Bahamas. I wouldn't live there, especially when the hurricanes are there. Get a lot of flooding damage and all that. Nah, not a good thing. Not a good thing to live there. But who knows? If you're rich, you could live there, but not gonna attempt to live there. But if you're a diehard storm chaser and you love hurricanes, go for it. If you don't, if you don't mind your house getting damaged, but you got the money to fix it. But hey, it'd be a once in a lifetime experience to experience a Category 5 hurricane. So let's begin with our next section, So next section of the Q&A live stream. This will be the Q&A session. So I'll begin with one question. And then we'll just, if you guys are watching the stream, there should be a chat on the right-hand side. If you're logged into YouTube, you can chat in there. Just type whatever you want and then press enter, and it should appear in the chat. And we'll take any questions, how long the Q&A session will be. So I'll start off with this question. How much is it to cost for storm chasing? I would say that it all depends, like, how much gear that you want. It all depends on how much gas money do you want to spend per storm chase. And there are some storm chasing equipment that you need. For example, let's just say, like, you need a vehicle, of course. Any vehicle will do. The gear could be like your laptop if you want to do live streaming. Now, it all depends on how much live streaming costs that you want to put for, like, uploading data and stuff. For example, you can have software to stream. You can have, like, GR level 3 radar. You can have, like, all sorts of, like, multiple softwares to use for radar. So that could cost money. Also, internet data plans. You also need, like, cameras. If you want to upgrade to, like, Nikon cameras or upgrade to Canon cameras. Anything that shoots pictures or video. You can also get, like, amber lights. You can get all sorts of. Let's see, you can probably get like bumper stickers. You can get all sorts of stuff to decorate your vehicle with anything.
Yeah.
You can get what else? There should be you can get. I think that's pretty much it, unless I'm missing something.
I'm gonna jump in, Kyle.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it all really depends on what you need and what you are chasing for, essentially. I mean, I I know Mike and I have a vehicle that's pretty much like all geared up. We have light bars and lights and radios in there. I mean, for me, I do ham radio, so and then I'm also on the town's emergency management with Mike. So we have some legal reason to have some more stuff than most people would, but it all depends on if you're ham and if you belong to town's emergency management, or if you have like a, like reason. So like not everybody would, and again, it also depends on your on how much you want to spend on it. Just as Kyle said, just on how much you want to spend for chasing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so looks like we have our first question from one of the users. It says, "What were you guys doing the day of the Rochelle tornado?" I was home, mostly giving everybody updates on Facebook. If you're part of the group, I was posting pictures of the Rochelle tornado on Livestream from tvnweather.com, and like I did comparison photos of the Rochelle tornado for the I think it was the storm relative velocity with that tornado. Yeah, so I saw some like amateur video from one of the tornadoes. It was pretty intense circulation from that storm. I was impressed how fast it was moving. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts about the Rochelle tornado?
I was watching the live stream on that, and I noticed it quickly turned really devastating because I was watching this one storm chaser, and you go from, oh, hey, whoa, I got it, it's touching ground, no, it's just a funnel, nope, that's serious, it's getting stronger, and then you have all of a sudden damage, and like we saw on the news and all the anchor stations, is that restaurant that was severely hit, but what wasn't really shown is all the other damage. They focused mainly on that one area, but there was a lot of damage, more than what we actually saw.
Exactly. And yeah, I was like, I did see the live streams of one storm chaser, and yeah, it was pretty devastating to see the pictures of, before and after the area, and oh man, it's pretty intense. Just, oh my god, the damage. Oh my god, it was awful.
Horrible.
It's horrible. And surprisingly, it happened like just like all these tornadoes that happen, like they happen near major cities. Like for example, Moore, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. I saw it at least three times in the past 3 years. There's been one strong tornado that happened around Oklahoma City. At least 3 times. Like there was 3 in Moore, Oklahoma, and there was one near El Reno, Oklahoma, that it was reported to be an EF3 tornado, but some say it was like an EF6, but no, it was just EF3. But that was a very, it was the 2.6 mile wide tornado that happened in El Reno. So all these tornadoes have been happening around major cities more often. Again, the Rochelle tornado in just west of Chicago. So I don't know what you guys' thoughts about that. Why do you think tornadoes are happening near big cities now?
Actually, I don't think it has to do with the big city aspect. I think it has to do with our jet stream and where these towns are located under some of our areas of fluctuations under our jet stream.
I agree. Absolutely agree. It's just like, it's like I was mentioning, like, I was thinking, like, just recently that I think, like, all people in Tornado Alley should have tornado shelters. Like
sure.
Every single person should have one.
Basements at least.
Yes, because if I had to sign a law, I would. I would sign a law that states that, you know, everybody who lives in Tornado Alley or lives in that area who has multiple tornadoes that happen around their city should have a tornado shelter with their home. No, like, no ifs or ands or buts about it. Like, they should have one. You know.
Mhm.
I mean, what are
Did
you
you
guys'
happen
thoughts
to
about
see?
that? Like, should they?
I completely agree with that. It's just one of those things.
I
It's
agree.
like if you're prone in the area, you know, you might want to prepare for it. Like obviously, you got the people who like, um, you know, they hear tornado warnings and they don't even do anything about it because it's like a daily thing for them. Whereas with it's us, it's like, oh man, there's a tornado warning. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But for them, it's so common that it's just like whatever. And these are also people that have probably had their house destroyed before, like in the past, and they're just used to it. Um, Going back to more, I don't know if you saw the map that was posted on Twitter. I forgot what meteorologist posted it, but it was like I think it was an AccuWeather one. He posted a map of the past 25 years of more like tornado history, and there's actually damage paths, and I get like going through more for the past 25 years, and you can see that pretty much every square, every ounce or every bit of more was hit by a tornado in the past 25 years, and they said for every square mile there was pretty much 2.5 tornadoes. It's just crazy. Like that whole town has been absolutely like destroyed, and it's just nuts. Like what? It's just crazy to me. Like people still call this. Obviously, they can call this place your home, but it's like people still live there, and but knowing that it's like an every year thing for them.
Yep. So if
And these
you're
are major ones. These are F2 up, which is like that. That'll level your house. F3 and up, and that's what it's always been. It's just crazy.
well, if you're a diehard storm chaser, or anybody, if you want to live in Moore, go for it. But or live just right outside of Moore and just watch the tornadoes happen. But jeez, I can't even like. I would love to live out in Tornado Alley, but again, I have to make sure I have a tornado shelter. But make sure you have a lot of money before you move out there. Just saying, because it's like the damage costs are just astronomical, like just enormous. If a tornado hits a house, you know, you have to rebuild all over again. So it's just awful, you know. Next question. Do you think we're going to get a storm like the tornado of 1995 in Great Barrington? Well, we could. It all depends, really. I mean, we could get any tornado within a certain area. So it could happen anytime, any place. You know, we could get a tornado. We could get a lot, like an EF3 tornado or an EF4 tornado, if the storms keep firing up. Because I think every year around this area in New England, I think it's getting worse and worse. Just by the look of the storm intensity. Like, I don't know. I have this gut feeling that I think it's getting worse. I just.
Oh, too.
Like every time, like I see a storm, it gets worse. Like they get more intense. Like I'm seeing more hailstorms now in my area, and I'm getting more tornado warnings in southern New Hampshire just alone. You know, so I don't know.
And it's not even like National Weather Service like being like trigger happy and calling tornado warnings just like that, like on every little thing they see. This is like, you know, verified on radar that there is rotation, and
right.
There's definitely more than there used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Well, I've personally been noticing since I was probably in 6th grade, so I was about 12 years old, that Tornado Alley, it's pretty much going in different directions. They keep changing it because there's different paths and patterns. And I think that shift, we're kind of starting to see it come, say for us, more northeast. And for others, it's just coming east, say in Virginia or Ohio, and it's just going different directions. And I do think that could also, again, be the change in our weathered pattern in general.
Now, I have a question. Does this have to relate to global warming?
It could, but I think it's the heating and the heating and the cooling of the earth, yes.
Because a lot of skeptics are, I think that the weather's getting worse because of global warming and, you know, how it's warming up the atmosphere a lot, and a lot more dangerous storms are happening more north now as it progresses north. So, I don't know. We could, like, there's been, like, a lot of, like, at least a few tornadoes that happened within the past, like, 5 years up here in New England. The one in Epsom, the one in Springfield. I believe there was a couple tornadoes. I think there was one up in Vermont, actually, in Northern Vermont, a little while back. I don't know if you guys remember that, but
It was at like 3 in the morning, I think.
yeah, I think it
It
was.
was a real
Yeah.
early one. That was crazy. I remember I was actually awake for that too. That was the crazy part.
I was like, wait, there's a tornado up in Northern Vermont? Well, it's possible. Um, and that's my other question. I was thinking, too, that do you think the influence of that storm in Northern Vermont, do you think it was the Lake Champlain that influenced the strength of the storm to produce a tornado?
I
And the
mean,
Great Mountains that influenced it?
it easily could have. I mean, it's so high up there. Like, obviously, like being so far north, like you have the cold air from Canada. Like, it's there. Like the cold air is in place. Obviously, you need that mix. Like everyone knows that you need the mix of cold and hot, or
Right.
cold and warm at least. And I remember that night was a real muggy night. Like there was regular thunderstorms for us, and that's actually what woke me up at that time. And this is miles away down in southern Massachusetts, and I remember the lightning and thunder woke me up, and that's when I checked the radar, and all of a sudden I see a tornado warning at 3 in the morning from Vermont, which is crazy. Like, I was like, that's real far up there.
Yeah.
But with the humidity, it's got to meet somewhere. That cold and that heat has to meet somewhere, and sometimes it just comes in the right spot.
Right.
I'm not too familiar with like Lake Champlain and stuff like that, but it's completely possible.
Oh, believe me, everything is possible.
Sure. Especially New
Especially,
England.
exactly. And I think this is going to be I think it's going to be a nasty season, to be honest. Who knows? Who knows? Can't really tell
You
the
ever
future.
have you ever talked to like it's really anybody. It doesn't matter what area you're from. You could be out west. You can be in Texas. You could be on the other side of the world. Like, you ever talk to like someone who's lived in a certain area for a long time? These are people that are like 60 years old, 80 years old, whatever. And like when it rains, their bones or their joints ache and stuff like that. Oh, it's gonna rain today because their joint aches. Or
Yeah.
well, it's funny because like I talk to a lot of people like this every day, like whether it be at work or stopping to get gas or Dunkin' Donuts or just whatever. And it's funny because everyone I've always asked for their opinion, they always say the same thing. They're like, I don't know, I got a weird feeling. I have a weird feeling, not because of the news, not because of whatever. It's just that's what they think is they have a weird feeling, and it's like I wonder if that's also like just like a natural thing where you just like have like an eerie feeling like something's gonna happen. It's just strange where a lot of people feel that way at once, and these are people that have lived here their whole lives. Like, yeah, it's just strange to me.
Hmm. Oh, we have another question. Have you seen any innovation or change in the field of weather prediction in your lifetime? Anything specifically significant? Um, well, let's see. I would say that nothing has really changed specific in predictions, weather predictions over time. I think it's pretty much the same. I think everybody's been using the same uh, like storm prediction center. I believe everybody will go to that as the main source and just predict the weather and use like the GFS and the NAM models. It's all been the same, really. Um, but as far as like predicting like certain like storm events, like tornadoes and stuff, oh yeah, there's gonna be like tornadoes in this area. There'd be like a 10% chance of tornadoes, or maybe a 30 or 40% chance. And sometimes they could be wrong. It happens. There could be like a certain like element like in the weather. Like there could be like for example, there's like 40% chance of tornadoes will happen in this area. Well, maybe a cold front came through, but again, the moisture was not there, or something happens like a mixture that changes. Um, so yeah, weather can change rapidly. Just wait 5 minutes and everything will change. That's the old phrase in New England. If you ever live in New England, wait 5 minutes and something will happen. And then,
Oh, for sure.
that's the weather in New England, pretty much. Like we got the Green Mountains, we got the Berkshires, we got the White Mountains, we got hills, a lot of flat land in most areas. That's like mostly southeast New England is mostly flat. So yeah, anything could change. But I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts about the weather predictions over the years?
Well, I
It's,
can say, oh, go ahead.
go ahead, that one.
All right. Well, what I've been noticing is that since Hurricane Sandy, there was a new prediction out that they're trying to put down, and that's even if it's a wrong prediction. They're still trying to have everybody be weather ready and prepared, because some people don't take these weather threats seriously as they need to be. So if, say, Jim Cantori is in Florida saying, get out, evacuate, and they just sit at home, then that's even worse for people like us in New England watching them, drown and suffer in that, which stand your ground, but
Yeah.
it's your own loss, sadly.
Exactly. So, Sam, any thoughts?
I think that just like over time, like it has kind of a lot better since it started. But I think that sometimes people who don't listen to reports, or maybe who used to like tornado warnings, because they happen so common. I'm thinking that one day we're gonna have much better system that won't produce so much false alarms, and maybe if people start having like a trust again with the weather system, with these alerts, and they will be able to listen to these alerts again, able to heed. But that's just what I'm seeing now, is that people who are on a tornado alley are just not heeding these warnings because they keep getting a false alarm. So I think that's what we need to work on, just for the future.
Absolutely agree. So, any thoughts, Mike, about the
Yeah, actually,
weather predictions?
I definitely like agree with Sam, and Emily too. Like it's just like I've noticed a lot of changes too, like especially with the SPC itself. Just recently they got rid of the they didn't get rid of it. They added the enhanced threat to the their threat levels. It was like slight, enhanced, general, thunderstorm. So it gives everyone more of an idea of like what could possibly happen, rather than just like, oh, it's general thunderstorms. Like who cares? It's just another day of thunderstorms, another day of rain. But um, it's like when they're updating stuff like that, it also makes everyone more aware. Like, hey, we're in an enhanced threat today. We're in a 5% wind threat. There's a possibility of half-inch hail today, but so just like be ready, be everyone like, you know, look up at the sky, like just make sure you know what's going on, so you're not caught off guard, so you're not stuck on the highway when a microburst hits or something like that. And it's definitely good the way they're like coming about things now, where like Emily said, it's just like the whole weather ready thing. Like that's a huge thing where they don't want it to no longer be a, oh, it's just a thunderstorm, whatever, and like they just brush it off because the weatherman's always wrong or whatever. And then something happens, and that's when people get hurt. But now it's like, make sure you have a first aid kit, or make sure you have like a weather kit ready and stuff like that. And I think that's awesome. Like, and when it comes to the predictions itself, like I've just noticed a lot more like accuracy with it. Like there's more models out there, and you can like pinpoint stuff easier. So I definitely noticed a lot more significant changes with that, at least.
I do agree. So, Bruins FN17 asks, how is rain made? Anyone?
Well, the water cycle starts up, which is the formation of clouds. Do I really need to, or is this
Let's start with the basics.
okay?
How is rain made? Like that model. Where's that rain model that we used to learn in preschool or something, or elementary school? That cycle, that rain cycle.
Yeah, it's like those, like the circulatory system or something. I don't know.
Yep. So how is rain made first? Like where's it start from step one?
Well, actually, it can start from anything, is what we've been told.
Yep.
You can start with, it's like, did the chicken start or did the egg?
Egg start. Yep. So did it start from ground, the ground to sky, or sky from ground? That's the question.
There's also like the runoffs and underground water that is like reserved.
I think rain is formed by gases, the ozone layer and stuff, over time. When the Earth was created, that's how rain was made.
That pollution. No, but in all seriousness, it's part of the water cycle, whichever state or form you want to think of it as, whether it's water coming down from the mountains and just pooling into lakes and rivers and streams back into our ocean. It's a recycling process, basically. From then, the daytime heating begins and water starts to form, and sometimes you'll see it in the morning after maybe a shower at night, and you'll see it as a form of fog, which is a type of cloud, and it goes up onto the sky and evaporates, giving you your well, it condenses and evaporates, and that's how we start to see like the buildup of those white puffy clouds. And hopefully sometime it'll produce some rain, but we gotta wait for that to unleash.
Exactly. Kind of like the development stage life cycle of a tornado. Does anybody know the life cycle of a tornado? That one should be an easy one. If everybody loves tornadoes.
Who doesn't?
What's the first stage?
Quick, raise your hand.
First stage, anyone? Give you a hint. The organizing stage is the first stage. And then the second stage is what?
Oh, I know. The chasing one.
Wrong. What's the second one?
The photography one.
No. Wrong again.
Into the storm.
It begins with an M.
Mamadas.
Close.
Kidding.
Almost.
Mature stage?
Exactly. Mature stage. That's the second stage. And what's the third stage?
We go chase it.
No.
No. That's going to be every answer.
What happens when the tornado dissipates?
We go, aw.
Yeah, that's an stage.
Roping out?
Yep, the shrinking stage is, roping stage. That's another way of saying it. And what's the fourth stage, the last stage? Anyone? Bueller?
Decay?
Yep, decaying stage. Correct. That's all 4 stages of a life cycle of a tornado. So it's the organizing stage, the mature stage, the shrinking stage, and the decaying stage. These 4 stages were actually created by Dr. Theodore Fujita. If anybody knows that name, they should know. Go look him up. He created the Fujita scale. There's a video on YouTube, if you guys want to check it out. It's from Vortex VA, I think. Or I think his name is Vortex VA. He has like old archive footage of tornadoes on YouTube, and one of them is Dr. Fujita explaining the Fargo tornadoes from way back when. And he explains like anticyclonic tornadoes and tornadoes' path and basically forecasting them. So it's a pretty interesting video. It's a good documentary on it. And if you look closely, you can actually see the young Dr. Greg Forbes in that video when he was working with Dr. Theodore Fujita and his experiments. So if you guys want to go see it, it's on YouTube. I'll try to link it in here if I can find it. But let's see. After writing a paper on global warming causes, etc., how causes earthquakes? I believe that natural causes are making storms more severe. Remember, Massachusetts averages 6 tornadoes a year. True. Natural causes are making storms more severe. Like nature? Like, I don't know. Kind of like earthquakes, maybe volcanoes. Do you think volcanoes and ash could affect the troposphere and the atmosphere?
Definitely.
Yeah?
I mean, look at what just happened. I think it was in Mexico.
I think it was in Chile, I think.
Oh, yeah, Chile.
The Chile
I
volcano.
don't know. There's so many going on right now.
Yeah, the earliest one was at Chile. And
that says something, too, the fact that there's a lot going on.
Yep.
And the earthquake in Nepal, and, I think it was like an earthquake in Nepal.
It was.
Yeah.
How about the one today in New Hampshire, which is up in Sanborn?
Yeah. I just heard that on the news. Yeah, there was an earthquake. A small one.
2.3 mag. Yep.
Yeah. The Ring of Fire is, it's been acting up. Because I remember the earthquake. You remember the earthquake near west of Portland? That was like a 2.1, but it felt like all the way down in New Jersey. Remember that one?
Yes.
Right.
Yep,
I felt that one. I was sitting like in this chair right now where I sit. If you guys see my live shoot, this is where I sit, and I just like heard, like I just felt a tremor, like something like vibrating my seat. I'm like, wait a minute, because usually snowplows like go by my house, and it felt like that. So like I look outside and it's like in the middle of like July, I think. I was like, wait a second, what? What was that? Like that rumble? So I'm like, wait, was that an earthquake? Yep. Sure enough, it was an earthquake. I experienced my first earthquake ever. So I don't know where you guys were when it happened, but
I'm not sure.
I can't really remember where I was with that one.
I
Honestly,
know I was at home.
I'm trying to think where I was with that. I just remember, in regards to like the earthquakes and everything like that. I just remember 2011 when Springfield had that tornado. That was one of the years where I remember we felt like we like Massachusetts didn't get like an earthquake. It didn't happen in Mass, but we felt the aftershocks from it. And I just remember distinctly like the same year that there was all like these volcanoes going off and like the earthquakes. That was the year we also had that very significant tornado. So I wonder if it has something to do with just that pattern. It's just very strange how it works like that.
yeah. Oh, you guys got a question, Clash. I believe I heard that global warming can cause colder winters. I could be mistaken. Is this true? And if so, how? Well, not exactly. Well, like over time, like if you guys heard about the Ice Age, or the Ice Ages, uh, it's a warming effect. Like every like I don't know 5,000 years there could be like an ice age or something like that, or every 10,000 years. It usually happens like each time, like the winters get colder each time, so there could be another ice age coming soon if the all melts from the Antarctic and from the North Atlantic. So you can imagine like in the Arctic Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, or the South near Antarctica, all that ice melts. We could see another ice age if all the snow melts. If and it freezes over again, it will be like another like that ice age from along like that happened like 50,000 years ago, I think, or
Mm-hmm.
it's like 35,000 years ago, the ice age that happened and it melted everything. So yeah, it's just like a common cause and effect. Like it happens like every 50,000 years. It's just normal for the Earth to do that. Um, Again, all depends on the weather, and it's like natural global warming over time. So I don't know what you guys think about how the ice ages form and how the winters are getting colder each year. But so what do you guys think?
Well, I've been hearing that this was actually our warmest winter, um, just for the USA, out of an entire global aspect. So I don't know how you guys think about that.
I think
Um,
a couple of years ago was the warmest weather because I remember there was only like two snow days for one winter, and it was just dead quiet. We didn't have any snow whatsoever. Like it was, I think that was the warmest winter we ever had. We had no snow accumulation whatsoever. We only had like what 10 inches of snow that season. It was so quiet. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was like a couple years ago, or maybe 3 years ago that we had that. But yeah, last winter was crazy though. I mean, we got dumped by that. In Boston, they broke their all-time record for snowfall, and we got about 90 inches of snow, 95 inches in Derry. So
yeah, Western Mass got pretty busy with snow. Mike and I were. It okay. If it was a warm winter, we didn't feel it. It was a warm winter, but it could have been.
yep,
Well, that was at a global aspect that it was the warmest winter. So here it wasn't, but in a general aspect, it was, sadly.
yeah. I think like like Michigan and New England, Lake Michigan's, the Michigan lakes and the Great Lakes in New England probably got hit hardest with the snow. Mostly
Lake
like the
effect
northern.
definitely was an impact.
Yep. So I would say the North America probably got slammed hard by this winter, but anything south, probably not. So I would agree with the this winter being warm globally. I absolutely agree. Also, I've heard the almanac is generally correct. Would you guys know anything of HW that works? If in your experience you know it to be accurate. Uh, Anything of HW? What do you mean by
Oh,
HW?
anything of how that works. How that works, I think.
Oh, how that works. Okay. You mean the almanac, and if it's like accurate? I think it would be accurate. Um, some of it could be, but most of the time it's not. Um, like I said, it all just like I said, the almanac was created by I believe Benjamin Franklin, or was it Thomas Jefferson that created the almanac? No, it was Ben Franklin. Um, he predicted that some of the weather events would happen uh, through this almanac, or mostly it was the almanac is mostly used by farmers for like how to when to start their growing season. But again, it just for accuracy, like I wouldn't rely on accuracy on that. I would rely on mostly the models that are created today. Probably the mathematic proportion of creating the models and actually forecasting. If we can actually develop a forecast like 2 weeks out or a week out, that'll be much more accurate than with the almanac predicting weather like 3 months from now or like a year from now, you know. But the almanac is accurate with the moon changes, the moon phases. That's definitely accurate. The time when it happens, eclipses that happen. So again, I wouldn't rely on the almanac too much. But what do you guys think about the almanac and its accuracy?
I want it
I think
trust. That's just me.
I think it's funny to read. I'll I'll glance at it, and it's like it'll predict like a big snow event towards like the end of February, and it's like, all right, and I'll keep it in the back of my head, and then a week before, if something does come up where, hey, there could be a snowstorm, well, it's like, well, I did read that in the almanac, and it's just kind of funny. Like, I just think it's kind of humorous sometimes because it's just a book, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't personally rely on it too much. I mean, we're always going to have big snowstorms, damaging weather situations. So either way, the only reason why it's a big issue with weather is because we're in some way affected by it. So nature can deal with it, but we can't.
Mm. Well, can you imagine like 10,000 years from now we can actually control the weather? Can you imagine? We can actually
Let's all
control
go
a
storm
tornado to
chasing
move
every
forward.
day.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Storm on I think it was on ABC Family a long time ago. You remember the I think this like meteorologist was like building like a like kind of like electronic device, and they had to send a hurricane plane into the hurricane and actually take that electric device and push the hurricane off coast. I don't know if you ever seen that movie. It was on ABC Family. It's called Storm.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah. Uh, so it got me thinking like, I wonder if it's possible to control weather. Like actually like some people say like use like nuclear weapons to explode into a storm and actually disrupt the storm entirely.
No, that was proven impossible.
Yeah, that's impossible. You can't. So, um, and it's definitely dangerous. So, like, trust me, I don't know if it will be possible to control weather. To be honest, it's just, um, unless they change something, I don't know. I don't think it's physically possible to control weather with any instruments or. I just let nature run its course. To be honest, you know.
Exactly.
Well, I know
avoid-
that the sci-fi films actually, I can't remember what it was called, but I know it had something to do with a possible, I think it was called Ice Twister or something.
Yep.
That I think was a real yeah, it was a real science experiment that someone was attempting or was planning to attempt. Instead, they turned it into an actual film, as we see on Sci-Fi Channel. So,
Man, if that were possible, could be. I don't have any doubts if it would be real, but but yeah, that'll be weird. So anyways, anybody else has like any questions on storm chasing this season or anything you guys have like any thoughts about that you want to discuss? Like, what is your favorite storm chasing movie? What is like what's your favorite weather event or favorite like favorite I don't know, anything in weather in general. If you guys are just puzzled by, you can like ask a question. Let's see. Okay, I'm not gonna answer that one. I don't know if anybody's reading chat, but if anybody's like asking questions, please keep the questions matured and not like anything immature, please, because this is more of a mature like Q&A session. So so I want to try to like inform people like what to do during storm chases, what to like if people have like are confused about a weather subject. We kind of want to answer it maturely as possible. So if we kind of keep the immaturity of the questions down, please, that'll be
Hey, Kyle,
really
is
appreciated.
it possible for you to add Nate Moreau to the chat?
What's that?
Is it possible for you to add Nathan Moreau to the chat? He's actually in the New England Storm Chasers group on Facebook.
Yes. I could add him next time. Yeah, but I can add him to the group. I can add him to the Skype call too, and like I can add anybody. And if anybody is in the storm chasing group on the Facebook on the Facebook group page, you can actually invite people, and I just have to approve them since I'm an admin, which I believe I have to make you guys admins. I should probably make admins to the group because it will appear in your notification.
Yeah.
Like this guy wants to be in New England Storm Chasers. Okay, so click on that and just click approve, and then they're in. So I just made the group closed because of because of spammers coming in and posting like weird stuff in my group page. So I had to ban them forever, permanently. So so that's why I had to close the group. So I want to make sure that everybody only invites people to groups. So it avoids like less spam. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
So we'll add Nate on the next one, or do you think? Because usually he's got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. He's actually someone who me and Sam both chase with, and I don't know if he was like too busy or whatever before, but he wants to be in on this conversation as well.
All right. So yeah, we'll definitely add him next time to the next Q&A. I'll do a Q&A once a week. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he's in the chat, so I'm sure he hears us anyways.
Okay, so I will do it once a week. If I do storm chases, I'm hoping I can live stream storm chases this year, but I'm gonna have to get a laptop though, and I need to get like a GPS receiver, because I want to see if I can live stream on tvmweather.com, but I have to make sure I get a laptop and get like internet and stuff like that, so I can help set it up so that I can live stream on that site for you guys. So we can like live stream our storm chases. But yeah.
Well, I definitely have your back on that one because I've got some things for you, Kyle.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So I'll get in touch because I can actually start a storm chasing team on tvnweather.com. So if you guys live stream or have a laptop, I can add you to the team, and it'll be our own group, and then you can actually click like it'll be like your own group section that has your own info. So it could be our own storm chasing group that live streams from New England. because to be honest with you,
only ones.
Like to be honest, I never seen anybody live stream in New England yet. Nobody.
I've only seen one.
Only
Just
one, yeah.
And it was, I think, for a hurricane or something.
Yeah, it was
for
Cod,
Irene.
Right? Yep.
Yeah, I think it was for Irene. That was the only time I've ever seen anybody. That was it.
Yeah, I think it's time for us to step in and live stream storms from New England because everybody wants to see the microburst. Everybody wants to see that tornado in New England. They want to see stuff that happens in New England because it gets more dangerous up here when chasing up here. You know, the hazards.
Way more trees and stuff.
Oh, way more trees. Yeah.
There's much going on.
Sure.
Like there's mountains and stuff. You don't. Sometimes you can't see until you get to a clearing. Once you hit that clearing, that's when you see where you are with the storm. And
exactly.
It's such a common thing, and yeah, it gets crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
I know you guys can agree with me on that one.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
Hands down.
Always.
Oh, we got a question. Do you think that the mountains in Western Mass make more of the severe storms over here? Yes. I would agree. If you're living in Tornado Alley, it's like the same influence on the Rocky Mountains. It's almost the exact same thing. So if the storm passes over the Berkshires, and it crosses over. You remember the Springfield, Massachusetts tornado? It's the exact same effect. So they do intensify. It kind of the mountains act like as a like if you know about mountains, if storms or cold fronts pass the mountains, it creates an updraft, and when that updraft hits the storms, it actually increases the storm's intensity when it crosses over the mountains, and it redevelops its strength, and that's where we get the we get like a lot of tornadoes near Springfield and Worcester. Usually that's like Tornado Alley in Massachusetts, and we also get tornadoes in Connecticut too, just northern Connecticut when it passes the Berkshires again. So it's the same thing in southern New Hampshire when it crosses the Greens. It could regenerate again when it reaches flatland, and it keeps generating more updraft, and it intensifies the storm more. And the same thing that happens in Maine when there's tornadoes in Maine when it crosses the White Mountains and the northern mountains of Maine. It happens the same way. It kind of influences updraft, and it increases the storm's intensity. So I think it happens the same way, but I don't know if you guys agree with me, but
Yeah, I agree with that. I can see that.
so
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. There is a point in the United States. It's way out west. It might be in, what is it, Arizona? It's one of those, and I think they actually call it the Windy City because of the mountain range and the way that the updrafts come up. So,
absolutely agree. So
you know what? I am gonna just cut in on this one, and I do want to reply to one comment, the last one, Bruins fan 17. I don't believe that anyone here is trying to discriminate. I don't know if you're saying that in a joking manner, but we are trying to keep this as a serious business. And for anyone else who is maybe feeling uncomfortable watching this because of the comments, this isn't really professional to be going about that. So try to keep it professional if you can. Thank you.
yeah, this is no joking manner. This is like real stuff, guys. Like, we're trying to inform the public of safety. Like, this is like we need to like inform the public what to do like during like storm events, and like we're telling our stories and what our experiences are like, but again, this is what happens when we have to put our lives on the line, to inform the public for safety, to get everybody to safety. That's our job, as I'm a storm spotter for the National Weather Service, and my job is to keep people safe and report the storms and everything. So I want to take this as a serious matter, for Q&As, and I wanted to inform the public to what they want to know and stuff. So please I want to try to make this mature as much as possible. I want to keep it mature. So
there's also a big difference between protesting and rioting. Discrimination is not why people riot. This is why you protest and you try to get that awareness, but the recent rioting and acts should not be brought up into this.
Yeah. If you want to leave the riot news out, that would be great, because I don't want to talk about it on this Q&A. That'll be for another live stream if I want to do a rant on rioting and stuff in the Baltimore riots. But that, again, that's just, I don't want to talk about that. That's for another discussion. Again, this is all storm chasing. This is all weather. I want to talk about weather, and that's it. Nothing more. Because I love weather. I like tornadoes. I love weather so much. I almost got struck by lightning 3 times. Heck, that's how much I love it. I got close to death. I'm enthusiast with weather.
I got a question for you guys, actually. Have you ever had like someone come up to you, like if someone new, like you just met, finds out that you have an interest in weather, do they just automatically call you like the weather man or whatever, the weather person, or just like automatically assume you know every little thing?
The first thing when they say they're interested about weather is like, are you like a weather guy from TV or something? Like a TV meteorologist? That's the first thing they tell me. Like, do you do weather on TV and stuff? Like, no, I'm like actually a storm spotter. I'm a storm chaser. Like, oh, okay. Because that's like the first thought they would like tell you is
Yeah.
like, wait, do you do television weather? I'm like, yeah, I do television weather. Yeah, sure. But I know a guy that does television weather. But yeah, I know Al Caprillion. But
worse is when you're chasing and you come into a parking lot, like a gas station, to go hill up or whatnot, and you're all geared up, especially Mike and I. And people just come over to us and just ask us what's going on or what's with the weather.
Yep.
So that happens constantly.
Which is fine. Like I'm more than happy to like obviously explain the situation. Like, all right, here's what's going on. I show them like this is what's possible, whatever.
Yeah.
Like just stay. That's the whole point of us being out there that day. So I'm not just going to drive out there for a rainstorm. Like, obviously the reason I'm going to be out is because there's a enhanced or moderate risk of something happening, whether it be hail, whether it be damaging wind. Like, and I explain that not in like a way like you got to watch out, there's going to be a tornado today. Like, obviously that's not the point. It's to cause panic. It's to inform it. And when you have like a decal on the side of your car that says like Skywarn storm spotter, that's like the thing people hear about in the news, but they never see that person who's behind the scenes of it. And then it's cool to talk to someone like that and like to actually get the idea of like who they are, what they do. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Most of my experiences are at gas stations. People come up and talk about my license plate, and they'll talk about my bumper stickers and such. So
It's like, yeah, once you put all your advertisements on your car, they'll ask. They'll ask the question.
Yeah,
because I'm about to like put my stuff on my car, at least like put it like I'm thinking about putting some New England Storm Chaser card magnets or developing some and putting it on so you guys can buy some and put it on your door.
If you make T-shirts or something,
yeah,
I would definitely do that. I would definitely buy something like that, or even like a sticker on the back with the website name or something like that.
Yeah, like put like cool. I might like put like the logo. Like I'll make a design a logo. I'll put your like name on a sleeve and then put like something on the back too.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, and then have like I'll make bumper stickers. I'll make like maybe coffee cups. I'll make thermostats. Like all sorts of stuff I can make. I have Photoshop. I can do it. But I have to design and make up some prototypes for the design stuff. But I could definitely do it.
I'm sure we could throw ideas in the group as well. Like throw pictures up there. Like, and I'm sure people in the group would be more than happy to pitch in and like. Yeah. Then you can get an idea of how many people would actually buy a T-shirt, how many people. Because I'd pay $30 for a T-shirt. I don't care if we're just ordering 2 or 3. Like I'd buy one just to have it.
Yeah,
I think that'd be awesome.
And then if we do ever like storm chasing groups. We have all of our T-shirts on.
Because right now I have what else? All I have is I actually just got my Skywarn shirted today. That's like the first one I have. Then the other one I have is what is it? Storm Assist.
Yeah.
And then a tornadovideos.net one. And those are the only 3 shirts I have like related to that. But it'd be nice to have something like besides Skywarn that's like or I'm sure you can even throw a Skywarn logo on the shirt. Like that's not illegal to do. You can obviously.
Oh yeah, you can put that on there. Yeah.
But anything like it's technically that's what it is. Like you're out there spotting, not just like filming it for for profit. So
yeah, I mean,
exactly.
I'll put
whatever you guys do. Don't put Storm Chaser. How's my driving on your bumper sticker? Because I've had people honk me down, and they know you after that.
Well, like I also got well, I haven't got pulled over. I've been thinking about imagine if I got pulled over by the police and actually like they come over and say, "Hey, what you doing?" Like, "Oh, I'm storm spotting." Like, "Oh, okay." And, like I want I can't imagine like an officer coming up to me and like say, like it's like, "So, how's the weather?" Like, it's good.
Well, it's funny that actually happened to Sam and I. That happened to Sam, me, and Nate about 2 years ago, or no, it was actually last summer. We were at a parking lot at the school he mentioned earlier, and it's like this huge wide open field. And you can obviously it's tough to see like miles and miles like in the distance, whatever, because of all the trees. There's hills, but we found this one spot behind an elementary school over in Chicopee that has like the perfect view of just like out west, out north, like. And so we're back there. It was after school hours, and this was when there was like clouded ground lightning everywhere. And obviously we're not standing in the middle of the field, like we were in our cars and everything like that. We have the Skywarn things on the back, so you what we're there for. It's not just like, oh, let's just sit in the middle of the parking lot. Like, you can see. And then we had the anemometers on the roof, stuff like that. And he comes over, he goes, "Oh, okay," and he like saw what we're doing. He goes, "Hey, just to let you guys know, there's a lot of dangerous lightning coming." I go, "Yeah, we know. Okay, just making sure." And he drove off. Because like he kind of like hesitated for a second. And that's when he realized like, you know, oh okay, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you know, it never happened to me yet, but I did one good deed as a storm chaser or a storm spotter. Well, gee, I gotta ask that question again after I tell this. But I remember this one story. I actually this one storm. I was intercepting a storm that went across. I believe, what's that place called? It was up north in New Hampshire, and it was crossing I-89, I believe. And when it crossed the interstate, I was actually helping motorists get through a big thunderstorm that was dumping a lot of rain. And I had to put my hazards on, and I led a big convoy of vehicles, like up to 20 vehicles or 30 vehicles through this rainstorm. And yeah, they all came right behind me, and I felt like I led them back out, and it was the greatest feeling of my life that I ever done, you know, as a storm spotter, helping people get to safety. You know, that's what I like to do. You know, it felt great doing that, you know. And so if you ever become a storm spotter, guys, you know, like, just do that. Like, if you, like, even though I like storms and I want to chase them by myself, but if it's too dangerous and you want to help out the public, this is what you do. You know, I lead a convoy of vehicles to safety. You know, and I didn't have any bumper stickers on. I didn't have anything on, just like my hazards, and that's it. And I just let people out, and just gut instinct as a storm spotter to lead people to safety. So.
Yeah, like
it's just it's a great feeling, man. It's an awesome thing I done, you know.
it is. One day, actually we spoke about this earlier. That big microburst on Agawam, I had come around the corner in those the large trees that fallen across a portion of the highway, and I immediately stopped, assessed it, and activated my blue bar on top of my roof. So I turned that on, and I parked my vehicle in such a way that it'd be highly visible to up a distance, so cars should get in the other lane, the two lanes to go around it. And when the local law enforcement arrived, there's a highway trooper. He thanked me. He saw my decals on the side, and he thanked me for blocking off a portion of the highway, so the cars wouldn't hit it. You know, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, this is what it's like to be a storm spotter, man. And the question I wanted to ask is like, this should be an easy question, but what is the difference between a storm spotter and a storm chaser? Because
I was asked before. My input on that is like spotting is you're in your area, like, you know, it's like you're in your general area that's like looking out of your house, just reporting what you see like outside of your house, whatever. But if you chase, you're physically going to the other areas. Like, say like I live in Chicopee, and here I am going to Greenfield to go chase like a hailstorm or something like that to report the damage up there, because there might not be any spotters up there, and they need guys over there. And if I look on Spotter Network, I don't see anyone there. I'm gonna go up there and be the eyes on the ground. So that's my input on chasing. It's like, it's not all about getting that like video shot. It's about being the one in the area to, you know, to like be the eyes on the ground. That's just how I see it, at least.
So, to my answer to this question is, the difference between storm chasing and storm spotting is that storm chasers are basically they chase storms for, you know, to get that, you know, shot, to get that photo, to get that video. It's all about getting that money, you know, storm chasing in general. So it's all about getting that, you know, that money shot, you know, for the news and stuff like that. And like, hey, look, I got this tornado on my photo, or like I got like it's gonna be on a calendar someday, or, you know, get a video of a tornado and say, hey, look, I recorded this tornado. Look at me, you know. So to me, that's what storm chasers are. But storm spotters are like people who are trained by the National Weather Service, and they actually report in storm reports to them. So like hail, wind damage, tornadoes, flooding, all that stuff. So that to me is the difference between storm chaser and storm spotter. Now, I do chase. Yes, in general, I do chase, but I am technically a storm spotter because I've been trained by the National Weather Service to, report in storms and everything, when I do so safely.
Yeah, I think it really just is tough because, as like Mike said, like we have the training, but we'll still go drive an hour to go catch another storm. So I mean, it's really, I don't know. I think it's really just upon like what you're doing and who defines it.
Yeah.
I think as it can be interpreted on many different ways.
Interpreted many different. A lot of people. So I mean, like I said, I'm a storm spotter. So I was a storm chaser, but I turned into a storm spotter. So yeah, it was great. But by the way, if you guys are storm chasers and want to be a storm spotter, I believe if you go to the National Weather Service site or skywarn.org, that's another site you can check out. They have some training sessions you can go to for free in your local area. So if they have Skywarn training sessions, I think they have like schedules somewhere. If not, you can actually email one of the meteorologists working at the National Weather Service for your area, and check them out and see if they have any Skywarn training sessions, because they have they're for free. You can learn about like how to report in storms and learn about safety when intercepting storms and actually reporting in storms. So it's great. I mean, it's free. It's only 3 hours. I mean, it's great. I got my my certificate of training from them. I also, if you guys are interested too, there's another program called the Spotter Network. That's another, if you've seen Radar Scope, like the software, or GR Level 3 or GR Level X radar, if you see like spotter locations, basically that's the Spotter Network. Again, you have to get trained for it. If you do get a certificate of training, you'll become part of the Spotter Network, and you'll be tracked on GPS. And people can actually other chasers will contact you if you need any to report in stuff, like to check in what's going on with the storm and stuff. So it's great. I get to meet like other storm spotters around the United States. So it's so if you guys want to get into it, I think it's for free to do the Spotter Network, I do believe. So you can get added there.
Yeah, it is free. You just have to take an exam.
Yeah. So it should be like a spotter exam thing. There's other exams you could take. I think there was another thunderstorm exam that's on right. I think it's up right now that I can take. So I get a certificate of training in thunderstorms, or at least thunderstorm development. So that'll be up. But so yeah. So if you guys are interested, go check those out. Go check it out. Spotter Network and Skywarn. Just Google it and it should be there. Michael Esposito said that, I remember helping out at a Hurricane Sandy during doing Skyward spotting. It was a great feeling of helping people being informed on the storm. Yeah, I was at home most of the time when Sandy hit, and didn't quite go outside. Well, at one point I did, when the tree fell down the street. I actually grabbed my camcorder and actually took a picture of it. And I ran back inside. And I felt like 60-mile-an-hour winds, so yeah, that was quite an experience, but definitely rainy and windy. But yeah, I was mostly just inside my house, like just waiting for the storm to end. And they canceled school that day, which I was happy about, but but yeah, it was some pretty devastating damage from Sandy. Some great stuff, man.
It was. I used to go to college out in Connecticut. That was right out on the ocean, and we were closed for about a month and a half because we had a lot of damage and we had no power. And this school evacuated us like at morning that was supposed to hit. Like it got like everybody up, and they just evacuated us. And I came back to Western Mass, but came back. Trees were on houses. total house was just gone. And I'm like, these houses were just here a couple days ago, right on the coast. And, and then it brought it all into like reality. I'm like, wow, a hurricane just did all this. Like I was there 4 days ago, and it's all gone. I'm like, wow.
Exactly. Anything can change at the last minute. Any severe weather event that happens, it's like the minute it's there, boom, it's gone. Things can happen. Tornadoes, hurricanes, you name it. Even thunderstorms, microbursts. When they happen, it's like the minute they're there, boom, it's gone. But once again, like I experienced a couple of microbursts before, and I don't want another one again. Kind of scary. Just seeing it, and I'm always afraid. In the back, there's trees in my backyard, and I'm always afraid that thing's gonna fall right on my house each time because my bed is like right up against the windows on the walls, so I'm always afraid when windstorms happen. When the wind comes from the northwest, that's when the tree's gonna fall right on my house, and if it's gonna snap. So that's why I'm always awake when there's a windstorm happening. I always have to check outside if there's a big gust, because if I see that tree falling, I'm running on the other side of the house, like I'm bolting it out. So I'm gonna get myself prepared for that. But if anybody else has any other questions on storm chasing or any equipment that you recommend to storm chase, feel free to ask. Because like I have, like, this is the camera I use. It's a Samsung WS100 camera. It's great. It's a kind of mix up. It's a 16.2 megapixel camera. It shoots HD video, 720p. It's great. This is what I recommend if you want to record or take pictures in high quality. I recommend this baby. They have these type of cameras at Walmart. If you check them out, they have some like cheap cameras you can buy like these. I think this camera cost me about I think it was like $160 at one point. No, I think it was like $120. But it's a great deal. So if you guys are interested and if you want to go to Walmart, you can like buy some of like these decent cameras. I also have a Handycam if you want something like this. Something small like this. But if you want to like capture like lightning, you're gonna have to get like one of the high end like cameras, like the Nikons and the Canons that cost like a whopping like $400-$500 cameras. But and you can get like lightning triggers added to the camera mounts, and you can get one of those if you want. But again, that's it's a future investment if you want it. I highly recommend to get that. But maybe some point in the future I will get like a Nikon or something like that. But question: are you afraid of the lightning during a chase? Is it true you're safer in the car due to the rubber tires? Oh, good question. My answer to that, I was afraid of lightning before. I used to have nightmares about it, actually. I had nightmares again struck by lightning. I was afraid of lightning when I was little, but now since I was like watching storms now, and actually getting close to lightning now, like I had at least a lightning bolt struck at least 100 feet away from me, or 100 yards away, I'm not that afraid of it anymore. So now I know the experience of lightning. I'm not afraid. So, and is it safer in a car due to rubber tires? Yes, I absolutely agree. But you gotta but don't touch like the actual car itself. Like, don't touch the steering wheel, don't touch the pedals. Like, to me, I want to crunch up into a little cannonball in the seat, and then just like keep your feet off the ground and like just hug yourself like this, and then just don't touch anything in the car if there's a lot of lightning in the area. So it is safer to stay in your vehicle when there's a lightning storm, because it will just go right straight to the rubber tires. But however, in some cases though, people who get struck by lightning in a car, sometimes the lightning can hit the windshield, and mostly it's the antenna. They hit the antenna, but sometimes it could hit the windshield and the lightning bolt can go right through the car, and so that could be always the worst case scenario. And yeah, some people have been struck by lightning in a car. There has been a couple fatalities from that, but it's a once in a rare chance that they will get struck by lightning. But again, if you're the tallest object in a field during a lightning storm, like for example, if you're chasing out in the plains and there's nothing but like just farmland out there and the car is the only tallest object, 95% of the time you're going to get struck by lightning because you're the tallest object out in the field. So again, now imagine if you're in New England. If you're in New England, there's so many trees around. So there is a slim chance you'll get struck by lightning if you're in New England because there's a lot of trees in the area, but I wouldn't doubt that because, again, I almost got struck by lightning like 3 times, so far. So, I mean, but that's only if you're storm chasing, though. You get close to the storms, and if you know your thunderstorm facts, lightning can strike within 15 miles from the top of the thunderstorm.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a little point. So, if you ever hear thunder, go inside. Always.
Unless you're like us, then run outside and get in your vehicle, right?
Yep, exactly. If you're a storm chaser or a storm spotter, get in a vehicle and chase it. Go intercept that storm. But if you're definitely afraid of lightning, I know some people have a phobia of lightning or thunder. Actually, it's phobia of thunder, actually. It's not the lightning, but I think I had a phobia of thunder when I was a kid. It wasn't the lightning, it was the thunder. I was amazed by lightning, but again, it's the thunder that really scared me. But yeah, I outgrew it over time. So, I mean, some people just outgrow it, Like, I try to stay through a thunderstorm and try to, like, see the lightning bolts for the first time. And, yeah, I outgrew my fear. I mean, they sometimes make me jump, but, just depends on the thunderstorm, the lightning bolt and everything. But,
If you want to get technical, though, about that whole safety in the car, if you had to choose between, if you already were in your house and you have a car, open field, etc.,
Yep.
Stay in the house.
Yep.
But also think about your surroundings, not only factoring trees, but the wind gusts can get pretty severe and sometimes ranging over 60 miles per hour. So having that in play, you can assume that a power line, if one is nearby, could potentially fall. And if a live wires near your car, being struck with your car and then live wire, that whole curl up in a ball thing's more like curling up in a ball and waiting for rescue. So
yeah,
gotta be careful.
Yeah. Or
Yep.
if you're now talking about all this lightning stuff, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be the first one struck with my tall antennas. So that's another risk to having tons of radio in your car with a 7-inch big antenna on the roof currently. I'm gonna get the first one that's gonna be whacked.
But what's wrong with that? You can reenact Back to the Future.
Oh my god. Only if you go 88
miles an hour, just whoosh. Back to the future.
October 21st, 2015, my birthday.
I'll live, Miss Pike. Thanks.
Although some cheaper versions, and you might not even consider it storm chasing or storm spotting technologies, as far as capturing lightning or even just a storm, there are applications on your phone, whether it be a smartphone, tablet, iPod, whatever. Most of the iPods do have the ability to, if you hold down the photo button, you can just take like over 24 pictures within like 1 second.
First shot, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
They premiered that on Weather Channel as well. But there's also an application I use pretty much for traffic, but it also could really work as a storm chasers know where you are, as the website that you were mentioning, Kyle.
Spotter Network. Yep.
You can pretty much see where other people are that have the application called Waze. That's WAZE. So you can pick and choose who you want to see on there, but typically it's local people who are driving around. But you can add your own lists and say where you are and check in and say if you're on the side of the road, if there's a cop. It's always good.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, so when you're going 110 trying to catch a thunderstorm, you know when to slow down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not saying I go 110, I probably go 105.
No.
Well, fine.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
that's
that's
what's
another
going on. I'm
thing.
not getting
Always obey street laws, guys. If you're
Yeah,
watching,
always.
always obey street laws. Okay, even if you're like storm chasing or storm spotting, always obey them. Okay,
That's
you never want to get caught speeding and then you have to tell like the officer like, oh yeah, I was chasing. No, you don't.
It's even worse if you're like Sam, who's got all of his gadgets on his car, and
yeah.
it's obvious at that point.
Mm-hmm. Like I don't have any gadgets in my vehicle, so I just have like I don't even have an amber light on my vehicle. I just have like the cameras inside my car, and that's it. And I just have my cell phone for radar scope for radar,
Yep,
and that's
same.
it. That's it. That's all I got. I run cheap, unfortunately. I storm chase for cheap, but
But that's
Sometimes
why.
that's the best way, though.
yes,
That's why
not
you're
to bring
best.
a lot of equipment with you.
Hey, but if you want to get it done, though, that's why you run the radar detector.
Yep.
Just saying. That's how it keeps safe. Not from storms, but from law enforcement.
Yeah. So I mean, stay safe, guys. Obey the laws. Always obey them. Do I need an awesome truck to storm chase? Mr. Spencer Locke said that. Well,
Trucks, you gotta be careful of hydroplaning.
yeah. Like I experienced
SUVs.
hydroplaning with my Dodge Durango one time when I was chasing in Connecticut, and I crashed. I was in an accident, so it can happen to anybody. I mean, it all depends on which vehicle. Like I said, I storm chased with my Honda Accord, and I basically hydroplaned too. So it doesn't matter which vehicle to storm chase in. You just got to be careful where you drive. To be honest, I don't know if you need like seasonal tires on your vehicles or anything that prevents you from hydroplaning, but I don't think it can. But so again, it all just depends on which vehicle you want. Like I know, like like Reed Timmer and Sean Casey, build their intercept vehicles from scratch. Like they take the frame, like the whole entire like car apart, and just keep the frame, and then build, the Tornado intercept vehicle, and then make it like hard proof, like hail proof car, damage proof car. Again, that costs money though, but it all depends on which vehicle that you're chasing, and if you feel like it, you got to be careful when you're driving into thunderstorms, because if you drive into the hail core, you're going to risk damage with your vehicle, and driving into storms that have caused wind damage too, like down trees, down power lines, potholes, hydroplaning. You can get into accidents with your vehicle if you storm chase. It can happen, but again, it just all depends on which vehicle that you want. In my opinion, I recommend like an old rusty vehicle, but at least a safer vehicle to chase in, I would say like, I chase in my Accord. It's like, it's like a 10-year-old vehicle. I chase in it. It's got like, 100,000 miles on it, like 150,000 miles. So heck, just keep using it until it rots out, and then get a new vehicle. So, but again, it all depends on your choice, really. Whatever keeps you safe in storm chasing, but
I think one thing to stay safe is if someone's wanting, or if there are people out there that want to become either a chaser or a spotter, at least be educated to a point where you know what you're seeing is what you're seeing. There are, however, some cloud classifications that can, like example Scud, that can seem like a funnel at times, but that's a typical mistake sometimes, and people typically wait that out.
mm-hmm.
But if someone's wanting to become this, there's nothing more annoying than someone, as myself, who grew up being that stereotypical money shot storm chaser, and then going into wanting to do research and being on the road trying to reach through storms and seeing what their patterns are, and then seeing a stereotypical into the storm hillbillies coming around endangering themselves and others. So
exactly, that's Ooh, I just watched a video recently on the. I think Reed Timmer just posted it earlier on his Facebook. I think it was one of the storm chasers was chasing that Ithaca tornado, and there was a ton of cars like parked under the overpass and were blocking the traffic, and it was like all in lanes, like they were parked right there, and the storm chaser got out of his vehicle, ran all the way across, like all the way down to the overpass, like the behind the vehicles, and told them to keep moving, keep moving, So he did, and he got back in his vehicle, and all the vehicles moved. Because if you're in a tornadic supercell like that, and all those cars are parked underneath the overpass, and there's other vehicles behind it, they're stopped too. They're gonna get caught in the circulation of the storm. Like that's why sometimes it's dangerous to park under an overpass like that, because it blocks traffic, and people are gonna get caught outside in the storm. Outside the overpass, and people can't get shelter under an overpass. So, and it's actually worse if you seek shelter under an overpass during a tornado. I think the best shelter is to get your vehicle into a ditch, and then get yourself into a ditch and wait for the storm to pass. That's the safest spot to for safety during a tornado or a tornadic storm that's coming over you. So. I don't know if anybody agrees with me with that, but I think that's the best safety route to go in the ditch.
I don't know if you guys saw the video of the guy that hit under the underpass. It was like 2 weeks ago, I think, or last week, and it was out in Kansas or something like that. I forget which city it was. It was Illinois or something like that. I just remember.
Oh yeah, there was the Rochelle, Illinois tornado.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yep.
And he had his phone out and he was filming. He goes, "I have no clue what to do right now. I think it's coming right for me."
Yeah.
And I thought he was joking. And then he films it. No, only he was lucky too. Under the underpass, and the only thing that happened was his mirror bent back. That was it. Like unreal.
Some people just don't know what to do during a tornado when it happens, when it comes close. Like it was the best decision for him to get under an overpass, but at the same time, that tornado was within what, like 50 feet in front of his vehicle.
It was so close, it was unreal.
Yeah, it was within 100 feet of his vehicle, and it crossed the highway right in front of him, and he got in the outer circulation of the tornado. I couldn't, I thought that truck would have went whoosh, right into that tornado, because that winds would have picked it right up. And he said in the video that the winds were picking up his truck, like he felt the truck lifting off the ground. So if you ever think about a tornado, if you're parked under the overpass, next time you should have got out of the vehicle and gotten into a ditch and waited for the tornado to pass. But again, he stayed in his vehicle, he watched the tornado pass, and he got lucky. He got very lucky, but I think he will do next time to be in a ditch next time. But again, he got the money shot though. But let's see, this is why it's kind of dangerous to stay underneath an overpass during a tornado event, or when a tornado gets that close. I don't know if you guys saw the one of the home videos that, remember the overpass tornado? It was back in Kansas. I think it was in Kansas. I think it was back in 1992. I think where the tornado. It was a famous overpass tornado video where the winds picked up underneath the overpass and the dirt was flying out. And they saw, off in the distance, there was a car that got caught into the tornado and it rolled, all the way around.
Oh, I do remember that, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a real famous video. They're hiding up under the girders or whatever.
Yeah, it was hiding up in the girders, yep. So, that, if you see that video, guys, that's how intense it gets in a tornado under an overpass. So, that was only a weak tornado. Imagine what a strong tornado would have done. Like a mile-wide tornado would have done with a greater wind field. They would have been sucked right out. So that's why it's always dangerous to be under an overpass. But that is your last option if you don't have any shelter, around. So I would say the overpass is definitely the last option. But
well, that's not to say that also as an intense storm can be, there's also intense emotions that go along with it. So you can know what to do in a situation. You can prepare yourself all you want. But if you don't, it doesn't matter how many experiences you have, you can also lose sight of what you're really doing out there, just because you are in that state of shock when it happens. First, you have the emotion of, oh my God, this is happening. Okay, who do I warn first? Obviously, if you're trained, you would know what to inform them of, like certain criteria that would be informed, such as certain measurements of hail and other emergencies.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely agree. So I mean, again, all depends on the experience, and again, like I said, I never experienced like anything like that before in New England, but again, I always get caught in those microbursts and all those wind events that happen in New England, but I never got underneath an overpass. Like the only time I ever seek shelter was like during that hailstorm that I was in, and I had to seek shelter underneath a gas station. But again, never experienced like a tornado before, so I would be in a ditch with my option at least. But if it's a weak tornado, maybe I might go under an overpass if I need to. But again, I always probably go in the ditch is my first option. But
got a question for you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think? I know we got some people from Mass here, which like Sam and I think Mike as well.
Yep.
And Kyle and I are over here in New Hampshire. So where do we all think that we'd be likely to chase, whether it's in our areas or different surrounding areas, or further away anyway?
I would say like Western Mass would be the primary target spot, or Northern Connecticut.
Yeah, Connecticut too.
I would say New York. I
New York,
think New
yeah.
York's been, they've been getting a lot lately, especially in the past few years. I've always noticed they've had tornado warnings, and it's such a like it's right there. We're both. I believe you guys are also on the western portions of New Hampshire, so it's like you just have to
east,
drive
actually.
over. Yeah, so I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it's not like we're that. It's only a state over. Some people drive, halfway across the country to to see a tornado, but for us, it's like, I'll go to like the top of Mass, or I'll go into Connecticut, but I drive to New York this time, but as a group.
Yeah, it all depends on the gas prices, technically.
Yeah.
If we ever get to New
gas
York.
prices are full.
Yeah, but
on
yes, it takes us like 3 hours to get to New York from where we live. So
Yeah, about.
yeah, so again, we gotta trade some gas money if we're ever. That's why carpooling is the best option.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
That's why you hop in a Subaru that says T-Storms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not anymore, sadly.
I'll just be behind in the Jeep with a million antennas on it.
And we'll be watching you get struck by lightning. Woo!
We'll just watch you from the back. No,
Yeah.
well, fortunately, no. The president has to be in the front, so we have to be the front vehicle of storm chasing. And that's what how the head of operations, by the way, Emily Pike is. So she has to be in front. She's head. Yep. She's in charge. And I'll be the one guiding everybody.
Oh,
New Hampshire chapter.
So yeah, we need to get a storm chasing group together. We need to get everybody out there. Because now we have a full group of 620 something people now, so this will be good.
I can't believe how big the group blew up too. It's nuts.
It happened within like maybe a 3-month, less than that period.
You know why, right? Because of all the severe weather that's happening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The tornado events, everything, Superstorm Sandy, all that.
Was it last summer we talked about a meetup? I think was it last August, I believe.
Yeah, the plans were in there, but it just never really just came to it.
Everyone was too busy, I think.
Yeah. I was in college, I believe, when it happened, but we were trying to do that event, but yep, couldn't do it.
We should shoot for that this year.
We could plan one for sure. Just meet up a day.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to do. I mean, I know Kyle and I have that issue of 495 and into Mass. There's always that traffic.
Yeah,
and
that gets backed up all the time, yeah. And I-93 too. That gets backed up sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just get a plane ticket.
No, right.
Yeah,
right, man.
thought the mileage was bad. Okay.
So, well, I could always find like secret routes to get around. I think the best route though is I-95 because there's barely traffic there at all. When I try to drive at night, it's like dead quiet in Boston on I-95. There's nothing there. Because I remember driving home around like 1 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning. No, it was dead traffic, like nothing. It was great on 995. So if I ever storm chase at night, I want to do it on 995 and not 93. 93 will be okay, but 495, no.
No.
Nope, because I remember driving on on 495 during that Springfield, Massachusetts tornado, and I got stuck in traffic, and I couldn't get south. So that was a real bummer. But I got to see the structure from there, from like 100 miles out.
Yeah, and then disappear right in front of you, right?
Yep. No, I was moving slowly across to the east. I'm like, God.
Yeah, and then the ocean gets to it, and it's like, ah.
Oh my God. This structure was absolutely amazing from 100 miles out. Like, it was like just a perfect like structure of a supercell. It was absolutely fantastic.
I remember I was stuck at work during that too. And there was just, this is back in the day. I worked at Wendy's, so it was just like hail hitting the windows. There were still customers coming in. It's like, really? I'm yelling at my manager, let me go. I gotta leave. I gotta
Dude,
go.
I want my cheeseburger. I don't care if it's hailing.
Yeah, they don't understand that. It's like,
dude,
just crazy.
Have you ever hit by hail? Just for a question.
It hurts.
It hurts bad.
No,
I actually have a
pea-sized,
video of me in my first hailstorm, like real experience with storm chasing. It was right in on the border of New Hampshire and Mass, around the Amesbury parts. And I stepped out of my car. I was that stereotypical, caught up in the emotion of it, videotaping. And I stepped out of the car, and I'm like, whoa, it's a penny-sized hail, pretty much, and ow! So.
Oh my God.
No, I was recording a hailstorm outside my house. It was quarter-size hail. Imagine if that hit my head. Like, I was like filming it like inside my house, and it was like pelting my front door. It was a glass door too. It was like tung 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 tung, like freaking rocks, like pounding inside of my house. So yeah, it would not been a great experience. Even a golf ball size hailstorm, I can't even imagine if I got hit by one of those things.
Did you guys see out in Texas there was like 4.5-inch hail?
Oh yeah,
just last week.
I watched that video on the Weather Channel. Someone posted. There was like grapefruit size hail.
I don't know what to do.
It pounded his windshield and it broke it. It was like doom, boom. Like, oh my God. Like I would be scared. Like to actually chase like grapefruit size hail and get pounded with my car. That'd be too scary.
This conversation has been brought to you by Safe Light Repair. Safe Light Replace.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, they make a lot of money off us.
Let me tell you, some scary stuff. You guys never want to drive through a golf ball size hailstorm ever. It's super scary.
Yep.
So, even grapefruits too.
I'm not about core punching. I just stay on the outer edge and check out the damage afterwards.
Well, if you ever did get caught in a hailstorm, like me, the reason why I go inside hail cores, I wait for them to pass because usually if the hail core passes, usually a tornado usually happens afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually wait for that. And one time I almost did, but hey. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's a wall cloud video that I posted. It was James and I that intercepted the storm in, I think it's north of Walpole, New Hampshire. We intercepted a pea-sized hail core, and we left to go down south towards Keene, and all of a sudden I looked back and I saw a wall cloud forming. I thought it was going to drop a tornado, but unfortunately it didn't, because I think the Greens killed it, or I think the hills of New Hampshire killed the updraft of the thunderstorm, so we didn't get that tornado, but it was close. It was close. So anything can happen past a hail core. You just got to look behind you. If you look behind you, you could see that tornado or wall cloud dropping, so luckily I did. That's storm chaser instinct. Yeah, by the way, does anybody have storm chaser instinct? I have it.
What do you mean by that?
Like, for example, if you have a gut feeling that there's going to be a tornado or maybe like a wall cloud forming or lightning in your area, do you feel that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's definitely a connection. I'll be that typical spiritual person. It's in the air.
Because I remember one time when I was back in February, it's like we had a thunderstorm in the middle of February. And I think it was like during that wall climb back in 2012, and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna see something nasty this year. I just feel it. Like I was telling my friend James about it. It's like, oh yeah, sure, you know, whatever. Until then, until I intercepted that wall cloud tornado, or that wall cloud storm, I was like, yep, I told you. I had that gut instinct, and I told you we had like pretty nasty, severe weather that year. So yeah, I'm having that gut instinct this year. I think there's gonna be something bad this year. It just all depends where those storms will fire. I mean, Connecticut already had thunderstorms already. James Osler, who was part of the New England Storm Chasers group, actually caught a lightning bolt that hit within 50 yards from him. I think Emily and I saw it when I posted that video on Facebook. Yeah, it scared him. Scared him big time. Yeah. So we don't know if any thunderstorms will happen, but I just don't know where it's going to happen, though. That's the question. I'm going to have to wait and see.
Part.
Yeah, yeah. And the forecasts are looking pretty slim right now. So no like thunderstorm activity for the next 2 weeks, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, but
Only time will tell.
only time will tell. So
I think as we see the temperatures start to rise, you know, the humidity levels and all the dew point and all that stuff, I think we'll see an increase of opportunities. May not be a complete chance, but give it that daytime heating and we might see some thunder, clouds, you know. Might hear some thunder, but we may not get the severity of it that we want, so.
Yep. And temperatures are going to be in the early 70s next week for if you want to forecast. As I post this video and do this live stream. Temperatures in the 70s next week. I'm happy. It's going to warm up. So I'm hoping for some thunderstorms next week, or the week after that. I'm hoping.
Yeah, possible showers and thunderstorms, so that would give us our slight drop in pressure, but, you know.
Yeah. I want that chase day. I never got it yet.
It'll come.
It's going to come soon, I hope. So if anybody doesn't have any questions, I'm probably just going to end this Q&A stream. Let's see. We were running around almost 2 hours. That's pretty good.
It is.
So,
not bad.
So last minute questions before we end. Well, I'll end it around probably for another couple minutes if nobody has any questions. So it was great to get the crew back together after a year. I would say a year of hiatus.
That's crazy.
Since the last time I actually did any videos or did any live streaming stuff like Q&As and all that. I've been like busy with college work because I'm about to graduate sometime this year. So thank God, getting my bachelor's degree. Finally moving on, getting a job, working, living the American dream, paying my bills and all that. So yeah, it's great times, man. So
Woo, college.
yeah, college. I don't know. I have my fun.
Yay!
I have my fun. So
Student loans.
do any of you know anything about fire weather? Fire weather. Like tornado fire, like those
Like
fire
the-
tornadoes. You see those out in the forest fires? Don't you think?
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Or even the forest fires that cause lightning. Yeah, that could be another thing we can talk about. Yeah, I would
Typically,
say
like dry condition.
yeah. Even volcanoes. It's another thing. Like volcanoes, the ash creates lightning too. It's just with the right friction in the clouds, with all that ash and all that ice and the fire as well. With the friction in the clouds, kind of like hailstones in clouds, or raindrops. If you get friction, you get electricity, and sure enough, you get lightning and fire, like tornado fires and all that. So it is possible to have fire weather. You have to have the right elements in the right conditions. to have like lightning and volcano ash, or with in forest fires, and pretty much fire tornadoes have to be the same way as well. The right conditions have to be there. Could you do the "That's all, folks" Porky Pig saying? That's all, folks. Or something like that. That's all, folks. Yeah, I wish I can hire Mel Blanc to do that Porky Pig voice, but no, he's not around. But he's a great guy, though. Love his work. As the ending, of
We
course.
should synchronize that "That's all, folks" thing.
That's all, folks.
Oh God.
1, 2, 3. That's all, folks. I don't know.
That's all, folks. Or do like Cartman. That's all, folks. Respect my thoughts,
Actually, surprised
A
me after 2
rooster.
hours.
Weather for lightning and wildfire, exactly. And tornadoes, too.
Chasers, cartoon style. No
Thank
danger
you.
there.
Oh, man. Yeah, we'll think of something like good endings to end in Q&A live sessions. We'll think of something. We'll do the Porky Pig like ending. That's all, folks. Yeah, I wish I could do it better, but I can't. I just did the Porky.
Hey, you got a week to practice.
Yep. Mel Blanc said in his story, I think in his interviews on YouTube I saw when David Letterman interviewed him, he said that he went into a pig pen, and he says like oink oink. He does like the oink 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 sounds, and he met like some stuttering guy or something. Like he goes like. I think it goes like that's all, folks, or something like that. When he oinks all the time, it's weird how he connects Porky Pig and the stuttering guy together and makes the Porky Pig sound. What happens if a radio gets stuck in a tornado? If a radio gets stuck, well, it basically goes flying 100 miles an hour, like flying debris, and if it hits a tree, it's destroyed. If it hits a building, it's destroyed. If it hits a road, it's destroyed. If it comes out of your car and hits you in the head,
It'll hurt.
it'll
You're
hurt.
destroyed.
You're destroyed. Get knocked out, probably, but like I said. Or do you mean like handheld radios? Handheld radios, they go bye-bye. They get flying, sucked into a tornado, like Dusty said. Like, it's a suck zone. Point. It's the area where the twister sucks you up, and nothing that logical, but you know.
We got cows. That's
Honey,
the
we got
same
cows.
cow.
Not the cow. No, I think that was the same one.
Food.
I gotta let you go.
Party tornado. Exactly. It's the suck zone.
Food.
You guys want to wrap it up soon?
Yeah, so we'll probably just wrap it up right now. So we'll do that's all, folks, at the end.
Oh, folks.
All right.
2 hours. Not bad.
A 2-hour live stream. All right, so all right, on the count of 3, we're gonna do that's all, folks. So hold on, let me get myself ready. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. That's all, folks.
Oh, I thought we were doing the weird part before it.
Oh, do you want to do the weird part? We could do
Well,
the weird part.
makes it fun.
That's all you guys.
All right. Oh no, I'm doing the weird part. You guys can, if you want to do it, you know.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Ready? When I say okay, 1, 2, when I say 1, 2, 3, you we do the weird part. We say that's all, folks. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. That's all, folks.
Oh my god.